dun, 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 dun. Won't you make it on the floor? Never danced like this before. Welcome back, everybody. No? Alright, so the first thing I want to quickly do before we even get started, I want to delete all these cubes and just rebuild the lighting. Talk about it, huh? 1, 2, break it on the floor. Never danced like this before. We don't talk about it night long. In paradise, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. There we go, that's a bit better. So, quickly do this. Should we quickly make a... Alright, so, I just realized we have a couple of things to do now. So, what do we have so far? Let's see, what we have so far compared to what we can do. Should I release my mouse for a second? Just checking everything is working. Fantastic. I have fruit flies flying everywhere because somebody decided to throw away a pear, I guess, into my dry bin, which is a very bad thing. Alright, so we have a build menu. We can build a house. We can build a house. We can build the actual house and place it. We can build a stockpile and build the stockpile. So let's do the couple of edits that I want to do quickly before everything goes through. So the first thing is we're going to open up the construction proxy. We're going to add a little something something. So what we're going to do is we're going to say to this default, to this mesh, I guess we're going to add no, actually, okay, so we're going to remove the text render and we're going to add a widget. There we go, widget. This is our progress bar. Great. Now it's going to be shown on the screen. Okay, compile. Now we need to check one more thing. Instead of doing this on construct, the set box extent, we're going to make this a function. So I'm going to disconnect that quick. Okay, so what do we need? We need to make a widget. I'm going to call this like our build progress bar. Okay, so this bar is actually literally just going to be a progress bar. There you go, it's going to be anchored to the center. 0.5 of, let's say 500 by 40. That's perfectly fine by me. Color, nice and orange or whatever color that is. That's probably green. Okay, we're going to bind it. Actually, this, instead of fill screen, we're going to say desired. And there's our progress bar. Now what I want to do is I want to bind it. I want to create a binding. And we need a variable. I'm going to call this variable our build progress. This is a float. Very easy. Oh shoot, I bound the wrong thing. My bad. Unbind. Shoot, unbind. No, stop. Remove binding. There we go. This is what we want to bind. Full build progress. Okay, so now that we've done that. So this will fill up as we get going. So this I'm going to quickly remove. I'm going to cut that away. I'm going to go back to the viewport. This progress bar, we're going to select our widget, which is our build bar progress. Okay. Now, I'm going to save. So when we do this check construction, instead of setting this text, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our progress bar. We're going to get user widget object. Then we want to cast to our build progress bar. Okay, and this we want to set build progress to our work done. So if we compile and we press play, we should now see a progress bar. There it is. Now we won't actually be able to build it here unless we stand right there, and there it fills up. Perfect. So that's working. Next what we want to do is we want to do like, okay, so all of this we're going to clean up in a second. Okay, so let's create a function. We're going to create a couple of functions. So this will be our change material. So what this is going to do is, let's see how we do it here. So we say our construction mesh, we get the number for loop, and we set the material depending on whether it is, oh yes, okay, so change material. So we need is here is this, and this is valid place. There you go, kill that fly. Valid place. We need a branch, very simple, if valid. Cool. So, is it a valid place? True. Perfect. So what we do is we're going to, where is it now? Wait, does this not even scan yet? I don't think it scans yet. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I completely forgot how much I actually did off screen. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna grab all of this nonsense, copy that. So this is our true, and we're probably gonna have to copy this again. So our construction mesh, we get the amount of materials, and we need to -1 from it. Okay, there we go. Now we just need to level this all out. And this will be our valid, ghost valid material instance. Cool. And then what we want to do is we want to, on completed, we want to return. Okay, otherwise, we copy this again. This is valid. And we say invalid. Perfect. First index being 0. And false. Okay, cool. So that's done. So now, alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to disconnect this. I'm going to redo this begin play. This static mesh can now be moved into the construction script. So all of this nonsense over here can now move this into the construction script. Just, yeah, we're going to rearrange all of this, make it nice and neat so that we can actually see what is going on. Okay, great. Next, we go to our event graph. And now, you see the set material stuff? We can remove that. And then, all we actually need is this event begin play. 1 second, should we reply to a message? Da-da-da-da-da. Hiccups. Okay, perfect. So we can save that. So on begin play, we actually now want to say change material. Actually, no, we don't need to do this on begin play. What do we? Probably should. Let's just do it just in case. And what we're going to say is we say it's going to be not valid in the beginning, but it will change almost immediately. Alright, so now on event tick, if we haven't placed the proxy, we want to obviously set the world location. Is there a way to like remove the other pins? No. Okay, that's fine. This trace channel. Okay, so next thing we're going to want, I'm gonna go into project settings, and under, where is it? It's under collision. We want to make a trace channel. This will be called our mouse trace. So our mouse trace, the default response will actually be hey original, how you doing? It will be ignore. So we want most of our things to be ignored by this mouse trace. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this and delete it and say get under cursor again, because just to refresh it. There we go, mouse trace. Hit result, split. Result location is where we now want to move it to. And then we want to change the material. Now, oh no, we don't want to change it there. Where we want to change it is over here. So we set the current building proxy, and wait. Oh yes, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to now do another. Wait, let me quickly open up my other project just so I don't lie to you. I just don't remember where I placed it. I don't remember how I started. Oh yes, that's right. Okay, what it is, I took the construction mesh and I got get bounds, I think? Get local bounds. Get component bounds. I guess. No. Get bounds. Get local bounds. Yeah, there we go. So now what we want to do is we actually want to do a box trace. Box trace for objects. That's how we do it. So min max. What we want is the maximum, is the start and the end over here. Alright. The half size. Oh no, sorry, I lie. That's min max. Now the start is actually going to be get location, and that will be our start and end. There we go, start, end. Then our local bounds. Orientation will be 0. Next, this is the object types. So what we want to do is we want to make an array, and we're going to actually create an object type here as well. And this will be object channel. Our default response will be block. That's actually ignore. Make it ignore for now. And this will be our building proxies. So actually, I guess we could just say block. Yeah. So we accept. Great. Oh no, not block. Sorry, I lie. This would be overlap. Okay. So when we can actually close this progress bar now. So when we make the array, what do we want to look at? We want to look at world dynamic, because that's all of our buildings that we've already placed, and our building proxies. It will ignore self, and we'll just draw for 1 frame, or just duration. Alright, so let's see what this looks like. So if we press play, we're going to create a house, and there's our trace. However, that was strange. Oh yes, because, right, okay, so we need to select this floor. Whatever your floor is, you need to now make sure that it has a default, it has the collision to block the mouse trace. Just the floor, anything that you want your mouse to technically go up onto. That's why I say floor in this case. So there, now we are moving around. as you can see, we are doing the box trace. Let's just let this box trace disappear. Clear up the memory. So there's our box trace that we are doing. However, now this is too much trace. We want for one frame. Okay, so let's just do this again. So there's our box trace file stockpile. Great. So this return value, it's going to say if there's a hit, right? We are actually then going to change material depending on the hit. So if we press stockpile, okay, so there is obviously a hit here because of the floor. So what we need to do is make sure that this floor is defined as world static. Oh, maybe if we set, fine, it'll fail to save for some reason. World dynamic and building. Oh, right, because building proxies needs to ignore. Yeah, I think that's basically going to fix it. Stockpile. No? Okay, 1 second. I want to fix one thing while I'm seeing it. This stockpile, I want to quickly fix. Because, as you can see, it's actually in the floor. And that's what's causing that weird jitter. So I'm going to just say 1. Save. That should fix it. Still does that jitter. But at least that's not doing it anymore. Destruction mesh. 1. Okay, that'll fix it as well. Okay, so oh yeah, I can now check this other. Let me show you what I have basically so far. I'm just starting to do the resources. It's not working yet, but as you can see we have things that change depending on if we can place them, and it will change as long as it's not within the stockpile, or like if it's not hitting that blueprint, it will go to the next one. We can click, and still need to figure out this bug where you have to go out and in again, but yeah, that's working as well. So let me quickly just check building system, construction proxy. And I also want to check this. I want to check its collision. It's a world static. Okay, and it blocks everything. Okay, good to know. So our here, I'm going to quickly change that to also just block everything. Block all. Okay, save. Sure. It will fail to save, so I'm just going to do that and undo and save. Okay, so now this mesh, no collision. Okay, let me quickly move this to my other screen. Okay, so on tick, that's fine. I just need to see. Okay, so this is all right. For one frame, ignore self. Object types is world dynamic and building proxies, perfect. And if it hits, okay, and then we also need to set that it's not placeable. Change material. So before we return, we need to make another variable and call this is placeable, because this is going to basically allow us to either place our object or not. So we're going to set is placeable over here on the completed loop. That's another thing I almost forgot. Good thing I did this now, because otherwise I would have been like, what is happening? So if it is valid place, it's placeable. There we go, return. Save this. Save everything else. Great. So now that we've done that, that's perfectly fine. Okay. So over here, if we're not placed, we're actually gonna disable this check construction for now, and we're gonna make a sequence here. We'll delete this begin overlap. So there we go. Sequence. First thing we're going to do is we're going to actually create a build zone. So we need another bool, unfortunately. Build zone created. This is basically just so that we don't constantly create that build zone where we can build things in. So we're going to branch. I'm just going to do all of this stuff that's already basically started. If the build zone is created but not. So if false, and then you want to check construction. Cool. So now I guess we don't actually need a sequence here. I just realized we do not need a sequence there. All we do is if we haven't created the zone, we do the false. If we have, we just check the construction. So I'm going to move all of this up so we have some space. And all of this I can also move up. Perfect. So if false, we're going to now create a function and just say create build zone. I'm going to go back to the event graph quick and just do it. Great. There we go. So if we haven't made that build zone, we will create it now. And that's pretty easy to do as well. All we have to do is we remember this construction script where we did the box extend thing? Well, now it's going to do it in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our box, set extent, to our construction box extent. Oops. Split X, Y, and this was 500. We also want to bump this box in placement. We want to move it up 500 units. Great, save, compile. And then what we need is, then we need to make a sequence. Now we can make a sequence, you see. So there we go. Sequence. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set the build zone as created. And then return. I know I just said it's the first thing we want to do, but it's the first thing I want to type in. The rest, however, I like this song so much. So the next thing we're going to do is we need a box trace. Box trace for objects, yes. Now, you might be asking, what is this trace for? Well, it's pretty easy. We need to basically check if our player is in the place of this box. So get actor location. Get actor location. This will go to start and end. Just as before, we've already done this before. So box get extent, get the box extent, and that's our half size. So remember, we just set it, so now we can change it. Now object types is make, and this is pretty easy. We just need to look for a pawn. Alright, draw debug type or leave. Actually, let's put it on for duration for now. Out hit, split it. Once again, you know me, I like to split my out hits because I'm cool like that. Not really. So we're going to first say branch. So when we cast, well, let's say, what is our out hit actor? Get class. We want to make sure that this out hit actor is actually of our player. So top down character. There we go. We want to pure cast it because if it hits, we obviously know that the character will be there. We now need to get the controller. Oh, right. Sorry. No, my bad. this is wrong. Equals equals. This is, oh, it got confused. So we need to make sure that this equals to our top down. There you go, character. And that's our first thing. There we go. And then what do we want to do after that? Oh, once again, pretty simple. We're just gonna drag off here, make a reroute node because I want to make it nice and neat. Because neatness is awesome. Then we want to cast to our top down character. Then we want to get controller of this character. We will then want to cast again to our top down, cast to top down controller. Again, a pure cast, because if the player is created, the controller will definitely be created. And then we want to set the current building proxy. So if true, we want to set the current building proxy to self. So this is how we're going to set the building proxy immediately. And what we're going to do is we're also going to set is in build zone. Zone. There we go. Alright, and we are in the build zone. And then we want to return. We could technically do this one shot, but meh. Meh. I like sequences, okay? So, the one thing we want to do quick, okay, no messages yet, fantastic. We want to now, on event tick, we obviously have, where is it, event graph, there we go. So we create the build zone, then we check construction. Great, let me quickly check if we have changed anything in check construction. No, doesn't look like it. Nothing that I haven't shown you guys. So I want to quickly remove. No, I'm not going to remove these walls. So what do we need to do next? Well, now we need to, let's just check what we have so far. Okay, so build house. Okay, so okay, build stockpile. Okay, so the first thing that's happening now is our thingy is not moving, correct. So let's see what is happening here. I'm going to quickly just check. Okay, so it's trying to set the things, but it's not working. So the mouse trace is the issue. Let me make sure. So this is mouse trace is blocked and collision is enabled. Okay, so floor. Oh, because we set it like that stupidly. Okay, there we go. Save. It's fine. Press play. Now this should follow us. There we go. It's following us. Fantastic. So what's next? Well, now we need to do this color change because it's not doing it. Alright, so object type, this is world static because it's our floor, right? So house. Just trying to see what's house. Okay, so it's the opposite for some reason. So the return value here, oh, right, because I'm a moron, that's why. We need to reverse this. Because this is true if it hits something, and false if it doesn't. I'm wondering what the hell is going on. So there we go, the house is now built. So now we can quickly build it. And stockpile, as you can see, it's not valid, not valid, not valid. And as soon as we are out of that zone, it becomes valid. Cool. So now we can build that. Now, the one thing we do need to do is, I don't know if you guys, well, you won't notice it, but if you've been following completely, there's this issue that if we press B, okay, so we're going to go into the game, we press B, and we create the stockpile, right? So the stockpile is created, well, now we can make, now if I press B again, here we go, nothing happens, because remember we put that flip-flop in. So what we need to do is actually grab our player, wherever the hell he is, there it is, and no, not the player, my bad, wait, top down, blueprints, controller. So this thing where we do B to build, right, there it is, this flip-flop is not going to work. We're going to do something like this. We're going to create another variable, and we're going to say build menu open. Okay, so what we need is a branch. When we press it, is our build menu open? Get, and this is what's going to decide it. So if our build menu, one second, let me just open this up so I don't do this wrong, because I remember it took me a little while to see what was going on here, because something wasn't working. Build menu, there it is. Okay, so I see we're going to do that same mistake again. This is not, as long as the build menu is not open, that's what we need. Well, we could, I guess, just reverse the polarity, but that's fine. So as long as the build menu is not open, we create the widget, and then what we want to do is, after we add it to viewport, we want to set that our build menu is now open. If false, remove from parent, and set build menu not open. Great. So that's the first thing we do, but what do we do? Because this is not going to work completely yet, because we need to open up our build menu, and where is it? Build menu. There we go. So when we do this build mode, right, this place construction, we set the player controller ref. We're going to do a couple of things. So we're going to duplicate this. We need to set our building proxy, because we do get a strange bug at a time. So I just set it here immediately, so it knows, just in case. And then what we want to do is we want to set build menu open to not. We don't want the build menu to be open anymore, because reasons. Okay. Cool, fantastic. So now if we press play, I'm going to press B, create the house. There's our thing, it gets created, we can build. Now if I press B again, it will open it up immediately without having to double tap. Cool, so I think we basically caught up to what I wanted to do, mostly. So let's just see everything. So there we go, build house. We build it, cool. So let's now do a little something. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to create a way for our player to hold an inventory. So what we need to create is, we're going to create another whole folder and call this our inventory system. So here we're probably going to need something like this. So let's see, blueprints. What can we do? We can do a structure, and we can call this inventory slot. So this is just our resource type and amount. So this is our resource type, and this is an integer, and then we can probably make like no, we're not going to do that. Thinking like max stack, but I'm not going to do that. So our player needs something like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to say create a new variable and call this inventory. Now this is our inventory slots, and it is an array of them. So we need another variable and just call this inventory slots, and this is an integer. Great. So the reason we need a variable called inventory is we're basically storing our inventory, and inventory slots is how many inventories we can have. So when we get created, here we go, begin play, I'm going to make a function and just say create blank, create inventory. I'm just going to say create inventory. So this is going to grab our inventory slots and our inventory. Now what we need to do is we need to resize this. So this is basically going to create the array and resize it in the beginning. For now, it's just going to create the array, resize it. And I guess what we could do is technically create like a basic inventory. So add, actually I think we can do it more like this. So we can do like a for loop. So I'll say we'll have like, let's say we have 0 is the first index and our last index will be 3. So this will give us some, actually no, that's too many, 2. Yeah, this will give us like some things. So what we're going to do is we're going to say inventory set or add wasting no more time. Here what we're going to do is make an inventory slot. So this is going to be a select on index option 1, option 2, and option 3. So the first will do wood, then it will do stone, and let's say I guess scrap. Here we go. So the resource type will be returned automatically by our little loop. Alright, then this will create the inventory slot, and the amount will just say we get 100 of each. So then what I want to do is I'm going to quickly make a UI and just call this inventory menu. So here we go, inventory menu. So this is going to be pretty cool. We're just going to make a border. Now this border is going to be anchored in the center. There, 0.5, 0.5. Size will be something like 600 by 600. There, this is our inventory menu. Appearance, here we go. We want to make this more see-through. Cool. So here we're going to have like a grid, basically. So let's see. I guess we could just do this. Oops. Into the border you go. So now I'm going to add I guess we could add what could we add? I'm just thinking what we should add in here to make it like proper, I guess. I'm just gonna say like what I want to see something that's useful, I guess. Okay, I'll add like a border every time. Okay, so this border is gonna be, let's say 12 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And okay, so all of these need to be oh god. No? No? Oh, there we go, layout. No. Okay, so grid is not going to work. That's fine. So in this border, I guess we'll just do something like this. We'll add a horizontal box. In that box, we will add 3 verticals. No, I'm not going to add 3 verticals straight off. I'm just going to copy paste them. So it creates 1 vertical box. And within that, it's going to do a horizontal. Or should this be... No, this should be horizontal. And in the horizontal, then we have the vertical. So this gets copy, paste. Or do we want the vertical there? Fuck, we do want the vertical there, don't we? Delete that. Put that there, put that in there. Okay, yes, and then we want a vertical box in there. That's how we want to do it. So there, there. So 3 of them. Do we want 3 of them? No, we want to... Fuck. Okay, I'm a moron. Let's just think how we want to space this out. Okay, so I want to put in... Yeah, okay, I figured it out. I'm just being a dumbass. So okay, in this border, we're going to add a vertical box. Now, in this vertical box, we're going to have a horizontal box. And then, in there, we need 3 vertical boxes. So 1, 2, 3. There you go. All of these will be fill. Perfect, with padding 10. Now, each one of these will have down we go. I guess we could have a button in there. There you go, a button. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna have a button that opens up an interaction menu, and these buttons, we wanna, what do we want to do with them? Well, I guess fill. Yeah, sure. And then we want to put text under every one of these buttons. Okay, so this button. There we go. Okay, so then we want to put an image into each one of these buttons. And this is what we want to change. No, my bad. Just need the image. I don't need anything else. Each one of these will be fill, and the image size will be, let's say, 128 by 128. Actually, yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. And all of these images, I wanna fill. No padding. Okay, great. Now these text blocks, we're gonna center them. Oh, I guess, yeah, like that. Auto is perfectly fine. Okay, great. So this is basically where our... actually, I just realized this is a very dumb way of doing it. We could make a widget and have a widget in this widget. Yeah. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. I'm being a dumbass. Once again, I'm being a dumbass. So this, I'm just gonna cut out of here quickly and delete all those. Save. We're gonna create inventory slot. inventory slot widget. Inventory widget. Just make sure to name those things right. Inventory slot widget. There you go. I want to paste all of that and make this the. I want it desired. There we go. So this is now the thing. Text block. Sure, I'll make this a little bit smaller because reasons. Like, let's say like 11. Yeah, that looks good enough. Okay, cool. So compile. Now here, under each one of these, we want to create a user created. There we go. Inventory slot widget. Okay, perfect. So this horizontal box, this vertical box is gonna also be gone. So in this vertical box, what I want to do is on create. Right. So here we go on construct. We're basically gonna grab. We need to make this as a variable. Is variable. So this vertical box, we're going to say add a child. Now, what do we want to add? That's the question. What is this? Widget object reference. Well, we want to add an inventory slot widget. So I wonder, maybe a grid will be better for this. I think a grid might just be a bit better, but there's a way like to do a uniform grid panel, I guess. Oh, fuck it. We'll put that in there. Stretches. No padding. But slot padding will have like 10. Here we go. Min desired slot width. Okay, so these are going to be, what do we say, like 128? So let's say 130 by 130. Cool. So now we need to see graph. So what we need is event construct. We're going to get player controller because we need to see how many inventory slots we have. Get no, we need to cast now. Cast to our controller, and then we want to promote this to a variable and just call this our player controller ref. Great, so now we set that. The player controller reference is now done. And then what we want to do is create a function and just say fill inventory widget. Cool, so what we want to do is we want to get the player controller reference. We want to get inventory slots. We're going to do this as blanks for now, and then we'll fill them in. Actually, we could just say get inventory rather. Yeah, get inventory. Get inventory. And we're also going to need the slots. So get inventory slots. There we go. Perfect. So now we have all that done. Well, we want to create an empty widget. So for each. No, it's just a for loop. For loop. So for loop will be this minus 1. Because we need to do that, because it's how things work. Because you're starting at 0. Great, so now what we want to do is create a child. One second, where is our grid panel? Is a variable. There we go, now we can do things. So here we want to add child. Add child to uniform grid. Inventory slot widget. And then when we complete, let's just do this first. Let's have that fill up. So when we set, and I want to say fill inventory widget, inventory slot widget. Where do we have that? All right. So what I want to do is when I press I, input. When I press I want to import input I, because it's going to take forever to find it. Are you serious? There it is. There's keys. Input I. So when we press I want to create a widget. Inventory menu, and I want to add it to viewport quick. So it's not really going to do much. It's just going to create it and add it. So, oh no, where is the issue? Oh, wait, 1 second. Inventory slots. We're going to say we have 4. Okay, compile, play. Yeah, sure. What's the issue? Inventory. Where's the issue? Aha. Inventory slot widget. Okay. So content. Okay. So variable will be an inventory slot widget, and this will be our inventory slot widget. Object reference. Great. Save. Fantastic. Get content. Play. Alright, so there's our thing, our inventory menu. It will just keep on getting created. Add child to uniform grid. Okay, maybe it's not the uniform grid. It's one of these. It's like grid. I'm just gonna type in grid quick. Grid. Is it grid panel? Is it a grid panel? I don't actually remember which one it is. It's one of these. There we go. So it's the grid panel. So what we're gonna do is now this grid panel. Add child to, no, maybe it's just add child. It's also not it. Grid panel. Create what? Need row. I guess columns. Is it inventory? Fuck, which one is it? Row. 2, 3. Let me try and remember how to do this. UE4. What is it? It's called a grid panel. Grid panel. Come on. Add child. Create an element. Add the child to grid. Set column to current number of elements in the grid. Just see this. Okay, so this grid panel is it? How did I do it? I remember I did this before. Set contains item. Okay, column. Get column fill? No. There was one that like gives you the panel. Uniform grid panel. Maybe it's this instead. Maybe it was this all the time. It could have been this the whole time. You never know. Was it set column contains item? Column row. Status effect grid. Add child. Oh wait, maybe it's add child to the grid, right? And then what you want to do is set. There we go. Set column, set row. Okay, there we go. So loop body. We're going to add the child to the grid, which is our inventory slot widget. Now we need to set its column to our current index modulo, let's say 3. So our actually, wait, how big is this thing? So this uniform grid. Okay, so minimum width is what? 130 by 130, and our full-on width of this border is 600. So calculator. Okay, calculator. 600 divided by 130. So we can fit 4 perfectly fine in here. So that's fine. So perfect. So modulo 4 is our column. Oh no, it will be, yeah, column. And then the same target. And reroute node. Set row. To our index. I guess our index 0. Also modulo 4. I think that should be just fine if I'm not mistaken. This could be, oh no, it's gonna be wrong. Or is it? I guess it would be, let's try this and see what happens. I mean, why not? So nothing happens. So wait, here we go, errors. Cannot add to grid. Set column. It accessed what? Access none trying to read. Add child to uniform grid. Because apparently this is not created. Because it could be being not created or something. So I guess, wait, fill inventory widget. So maybe if we create a widget, right? So we create widget. And, okay, so we can do like inventory slot widget. And then you want to set this. Really changed a lot in this stuff now. Okay, let's try that. Okay, there we go. Cool. So now we need to go back to our full inventory. So let's see, how is this for loop working? So it's getting our inventory slots, which is 4, for example. And it's saying at 0. I need a piece of paper quick. Yeah, it's fine. So at 0, it should be at index 0 and 0. Right? So we add the child to the uniform grid. We set its column to the index. Okay, it should just be that instead, maybe. Where's I? Okay, still not doing it. I guess we also should set something like in row. Try row 0. Maybe. And then I guess the same thing needs set vertical alignment. This is fill, yeah, sure. And then set horizontal. Okay, now I remember how I did this shit. There. And there. and there. Great. Oh, it shouldn't be filled, but add 10 to the padding. Oh, no. Undo. No padding there. But this slot padding 10. So maybe now we can just do a grid panel instead. But I guess let's try with this uniform grid. Okay, now I'm gonna do just a normal grid panel because I remember that's what I used to use, and I think that's what I should just stick with. It's filled. Great. Help if it was actually a variable. Shit, all this has to be deleted. Damn, that's such a bitch. That's a real bitch. That's very annoying. Add child to grid. There we go. So we're adding it to the grid of this widget. Oh, actually, I just realized something. I'm a moron. We're doing this once, so undo all that. Wait, instead of doing that, we need to create it every time, and then fuck. Why did I do all that shit? Okay, I'm gonna click undo. There we go. Undo. Okay, so here we need to create. So we don't need this, that's for sure. Which means we don't need that. Yes. So here we need to create a widget, right? Because we need to do it once, and there. Okay, that makes more sense now. We need to make an inventory slot. Perfect. We add it. We save here in the event graph. We don't need this anymore. Perfect. Now we press play. And there's our 4 slots. However, they are a little bit big, so let's change the vertical alignment to just say top. Great, play. And there we go. This is our 4 slots. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to check in row. Yeah, I guess in that would be the row. Wait. How did we do this in the generation world thing? So if we here's our grid. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 0 mod. Okay, so that's the row. Oh no, these are columns. So the column is actually the index. Oh wait, I need to do this in 4s quick, just to be sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 slots. That's perfectly fine. So this is what, 0. So to get that, it would be okay. So that's how we're going. So columns would be actually what we need. So wait, undo all this shit. Okay, so in row, this would be 4 mod 4 would be 0, right? 4 mod 4. Also 0, yeah. So, oh, right, it would be easy. You just take this, divide it maybe by 4. Oh, divided by 4, yeah, that's fine. So if we have like so if we have something like 3, yeah, okay. And then you obviously wanna, there you go. So this will be the row. And the column will be, so the column will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So how would we do the columns now? We could do another loop, I guess. For each loop of inventory slots. I think, yeah, we need to redo this maths a little bit. Hold on. So let's quickly redo these maths. So in this for each loop, I'm going to quickly break this up. Just grab this again. Because we're going to have 2 loops, I think. So I'm going to delete this for loop again. There we go. So what I want to do is we get the amount of inventory slots, right? Then I'm going to divide this by 4. So this will be a local variable, and just call this inv x. It's an integer, and then inv y. So we divide our inventory slots by 4, and that is how many we have in the y. So set the y by dividing the inventory slots by 4. So if we have 12 slots, for example, divide that by 4 will give us 3. So that's 3. That is 3 rows. Okay. So 3 rows. Perfect. And now we need the columns. Oh, well, it's going to do it every 4. So inventory X will be set to 4. Okay, fantastic. So now, I'm going to delete this inventory for now. So now that we have all of these values done, what do we want to do? Well, this code is going to go over here for now. So I'm going to now start a for loop at index 0, and inventory Y is the last index. So now we need another one. So here we're going to call a return, because this is where the function ends. So this will be 0, and this will be inventory X. Alright, so now for each loop body, we're going to create the inventory slot. So that's the first thing. So there we go, we create the inventory slot. Then we want to add this child to the grid. Alright, now we're going to set the column, which is our X variable basically, to our index. Okay, and then set our row to our Y. Okay, so there's our Y, set the row, then this gets set automatically. Great. Cool, so now we compile, we get our character, let's check, not the character, controller. Let's change the amount of inventory slots to, let's say 12 for now, because this will be make 3 by 3 base, 3 by 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This does it too many times. Oh, I know why. Because 3. And this will be -1 quick, because reasons. Reason being that, once again, we're going from 0. There we go. 12. Now I want to make a 16 slot bag, for example. So 16. Press play. This should make 16. Great. So we're going to have just 4 slots when we start out. So there we go. 4 slots. Creates it. Perfect. So now we need to basically cast to every one of these inventory slots. So we now created them, okay? But now we also need to fill them. So once we create them, instead of returning, this is where we're going to start the filling. So we're going to start a new, I guess we could do a sequence here. Sequence. So this is, we're going to do the loop, and then we're going to fill the, do the loop, and then we're going to fill the inventory from our player. So we get our player controller. Actually, I don't even think we need the sequence here. What we actually just want to do is we want to, I guess we could make a array here as well. So like local variable, and we call this like inventory slots, and this is a inventory slot widget reference array. Okay, cool. So when we do it, then we want to do our inventory slots add. Inventory slot object reference. Okay. Oh, that's why. Shit, undo that. Because this is what needs to add. Hey, there we go. Dun, dun. Ooh. 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 Wee. Damn, my voice. Alright, so it adds it. So now we're going to basically do a for each loop here. So grab this and say for each loop. Great. So what we're going to do now is we're basically going to cast. So for every loop, we're just going to, for every slot, we're going to cast. And we're going to get the text. Actually, wait. We're going to probably do something like this. We're going to go graph and say function. And we're going to say like set inventory slot. And basically this is going to take a couple of things. It's going to get a, it's going to take amount, which is an int, and it's also going to take a resource, and this is resource type. Cool, so that's what it's going to do, and it's going to do a switch. So basically on wood, it will get this image set brush, oh wait, set image, can I just brush, set the brush. So obviously on the wood, stone, iron, we're going to basically fill all of this up. Set the brush 128 by 128, and the image, I guess let's quickly grab a wood icon. Wood icon. Yeah, sure, that's fine. That's good enough for me. Save. We need to save this in our assets folder thingy. Call this wood. Great. Now, icons. We want to import. There we go. Wood. Okay, so wood. Wood texture. Perfect. So I'm gonna do the same for everything now because I don't actually want to be doing this. So we're only gonna have scrap, stone, and wood as far as I remember. For now, obviously. Well, you obviously fill this up as you go with all of your object types. And then the amount you want to then, we need to get our text is a variable. Well, I guess let's do this sequence. So that's the first thing you do. And then we grab the text block, set text to amount. Okay. So compile. Now we go back to our widget. So here, what is this? It's already inventory. Okay, then we won't cost. So now what I want to do is I want to now call the function that we just created. So set inventory slot for each of those. Now get inventory, and I basically want to do a get. Here we go. Get a reference of our index, and then split, and then we're just gonna do this and that. And then when you complete, then you can return. Cool. So let's find out if that worked. I want to do one thing though, because remember we did set the inventory to have inventory. This was like 50, so what I want to do is, oh no, this is 100. I'm going to do clear random integer in range of minimum like 50 and maximum like 100. So do that, and then I want to pop this to be visible when we press play. So here we go. We don't actually create the inventory anyway, do we? So we on input, on event graph begin play, we want to create an inventory quickly. So there we go. Create the inventory. Compile. Now we need to press play. So the first thing we want to do is we want to check our player. There's our controller. We need to see his inventory. Wood 0, wood 0, wood 0, wood 0. There's the, okay, there we go. 64, 97, and 87. So if we press I, oh yes, because the first 4 are 0. First index. Oh yes, because our inventory slots 4. Okay, so the first thing I want to do then is get inventory and just say clear. Because for some reason it wasn't empty. Compile. That was weird. So, controller. Why is it creating 7? I see it creates like the first 4, and then it does the 3. Huh. Let me do like a add unique maybe. That might be a bit better. Try that. Right, we actually need to be here. Try to 7. Why? It creates 7. Why is it creating 7? That's my question. It should create 3. I guess. Oh, because I'm a moron. That's why it's created. We want to set array elements. That's what we want to do. We don't want to add to the 4 that we've resized. We want to do this at index. Oh shit, that's new. I've never seen that tool before. There we go. 67, 96, and 73. And obviously this will be 0 because it creates wood. So it actually should just size to fit. Actually, maybe let's not resize this then. So we don't need to clear it technically either. So for each loop, we don't need to resize it. We just need to now add. Yeah, sure, add. If we press play now, press I. It's still creating 0 wood. Just check, just to be sure. That's not just creating no, 3 array elements. So it only has 3 things. That's perfectly fine. So that means that it's this widget that's doing this. Inventory slots is 4. Okay, because the default so maybe it should be like a for loop of inventory. Well, I guess this is the other way to do it, is building system, our resource type, we just add new and just call this none, because that's like one way to basically do this. There we go, so none will be on top. So now when we, there we go, default value is none. So here on the none, it will do nothing. So when we press play, if we press I, okay, so the only thing is now that we did wood, yeah, wood, stone, scrap. I need to play my music again because I will go insane. Okay, so here set inventory slot on none and on wood. There we go. So I just checking that it's constantly working. Okay, cool. So I guess let's get a couple more icons. So like wood icon, stone icon, sure, and scrap icon. There we go. So save this image, assets, scrap, save image in assets, stone. So now I'm going to quickly disconnect all this and create these individually. This is for stone. Unfortunately, yes, this is going to be quite a hefty job to do all of this, but we don't need iron actually, so I'm gonna just move this down to scrap for now. So now all we have to do is insert all those icons here. So where's it? Inventory system, icons, and import here and here. Great. So save everything. We don't need that. So slot widget. So this is, what's this one again? Stone. Stone. Scrap. Okay, so if we press I, there's our 3 icons. And now, what's the next part? Well, now that we have our resources, we can actually now get this construction proxy for when we check the construction. What we can do is we can now say here we're going to call a function, create a function, and say build construction. So what does this do? Well, first of all, we're going to have a variable and call this has resources. Has resource. Cool. So do this, and we're going to check, do we have resource? If we do not have the resources, well, then if we don't have the resources, then I mean we can't really build, right? So we're just going to say print string and say don't have the resources. Great, don't have the resources. If true, however, then when we do this check complete thing, this check construction, grab all this. Well, I guess work done. We just need to add to work done. So build construction, work done. Set work done to our current work done plus a float. Now, how do you want to do this? Do you want to add constant work done, or how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? So, how are we going to do this? We're going to say, I guess, plus. Well, if we say like work this construction time, I'm gonna change this variable name to like work needed. So like, for example, if we click once, then 1 work needed goes away. So if there's, for example, 100 work needed, no, let's say 10 work needed to make a house, right? So that will be you click 10 times to make a house. But, well, I guess, yeah, work done is +1 then. Now, what we want to do is we want to no, we don't want to set the work. This is going to be like progress, because work done and work needed are slightly different. So here, when we just check if we can check construction, we're not going to send the work, but we're just going to send our current progress. There we go. That's a bit better. So build construction. So what we do is we say work done. Well, I guess we could just do this then. Just plus plus plus. Increment the float by 1. Now, what we want to do is, when we say check construction, we want to check if it's complete. Now, how do we check if it's complete? If work done equals, well, I guess bigger or equals to is fine. If it equals to our work needed. Compile. So, for example, if we go to our building system and we go buildings, residential, no, let's do storage for now. So we're going to focus on this, stockpile, construction time. So this is, let's say we need 10 clicks to do this, to make this stockpile. So if we press play, we should now be able to say stockpile, place it. However, our little progress bar did not pop up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoa, it got built immediately. Oh, that's probably the issue. Okay. Construction proxy. Work needed. Build menu, build menu, build menu. 1 second. Construction proxy, because we need to cost. There we go. So now if we say house, oh yes, because now we're not adding to work done, so top-down controller. When we input, left click somewhere here, instead of saying work done, we're just going to say build. Build construction. So here we go. Build the stockpile of hut. Don't have the resources. Alright, so that's step 1, I guess. So let's quickly disable that, just to check that this is working properly. Build construction. We're going to say adds resources. Great. So we have the resources just for now. Stockpile. Click. 1, 2, 3. Ah, yes, because that's still not fixed. Oh, and immediately stockpile. Dun, dun. Oh, right, because we're not setting the progress, and that's why it's not updating. So progress is actually going to be set to our work done. I guess there you go. To our work needed. So work done divided by our work needed. That's going to be set to our progress. Great. So build stockpile create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 created. Great, it works. So what's next? Whatever. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So that's now being set up. So now, how do we check that we have the resources? False. So we need to do a return here. Return. Well, now we're going to decide: are we going to just get it from the player? I think let's do that, because that'll be easy. So build construction. So before we can actually build, we need to say, let's say, use resources. Well, I guess resource. That's fine. So use resource. I'm probably spelling resource wrong, aren't I? Alright, so use resource. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our player controller and get inventory. Now we need to find an item. And what do we need to find? Well, split this. We need to find our materials needed. Okay, so for each, it seems we're going to be doing for each here. So for example, here, yeah, so we'll do for each. Okay, so for each array, split the structure. So for each resource, we need to find let's say amount. So how much do we need? For example, let's look at our stockpile. What do we need to build it? So we need 50 wood and 100 stone. Let's make this a bit smaller. So like 50 stone, no, not, yeah, 50 will be the minimum, and 25 wood. So now what it's going to do is it's going to look at the building resource requirements. So it'll say, okay, so this thing needs, well, I guess we could test this first. So if we press play and we create a stockpile proxy, let's find it. Where is our stockpile proxy? Where is it? Am I blind? There we go, construction proxy. So the things it needs, work need 100. Oh yes, let's quickly also enable the thing so we can see what materials needed, so we can just see it in game, well, in the editor. Build a stockpile. There we go. Construction proxy. So materials needed. There we go. Wood. 0. Okay, so it's not being passed on. So the build menu. Okay, right. We should probably pass the materials that we need. On spawn. Compile. So this build menu. We need to compile. Shall we try and not cast this and just do this straight? See if it works. Get material. Get. There it is. Get building resource requirements. There you go. Compile. Let's see if this works. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. There's a reason I was doing costs. You don't need to cost it, bro. Assholes. Stockpile. There we go. Okay. So now I'm just making sure that was working. Stockpile. Now we can check construction proxy. Materials needed. Wood 25. Stone 50. Okay. So we are getting that. So now what we're going to do is in our construction proxy, we need to say we're going to loop through each material, right? Each material is needed. Now, array element amount. So what we're going to do is we're first going to minus. I'm going to de-increment this. Right? Wait, hold on. Let's just make sure. So first it's going to say, I'm going to combine this and just break it here instead. Just so we don't get confused about what's happening. So at the array index of, for example, 0, we know that its resource is wood, for example, and the amount is 25. So what we should do is, we should probably do something like this. So materials needed. No, we'll do that just now. Okay, so we're going to get the player controller. I'm going to get the inventory. And now what I want to do is I want to find an item. Now, amount, it doesn't really matter. We just need to find the resource. And then this is the integer, this is the index. So then what I want to do is I want to grab this inventory and set the array element at that index to get a reference of this at that index, break this, and minus 1, and then I guess make no, oh, item, there we go. We need to drag it off here and say make inventory slot there and that. So that's what it's going to do. And now what I want to see is it's going to say find amount 0. I don't know if this really matters. So I guess we're going to press play. I'm going to check. So we have 73 wood and 75. Oh, fuck, right. Shoot. Okay. I'm going to quickly create a top-down controller. I'm going to make a flip-flop here, though. Flip-flop. Just, I know it's going to do that weird bug thing, but it's what we're going to do now. And then remove from parent. Okay, there we go. So 74 and 74. So if we press build, stockpile, small. Oh yes, because this doesn't actually edit the things yet. So construction proxy. When we say build construction, we go into use resource. Just so we know it's being called every time. So inventory, 70 and 80. Build stockpile. Okay, so 70 and 80. Click. 70 and 80. Okay. I guess resource. So material is needed. Okay, now this is not the right way to do it. So let's restart. So use resource. I guess what we can say is like resource type. So we need an input and no, we don't need an input. What are we doing? So what I'm going to say is use resource. So the material is needed. I want to get, I guess now we don't need to do a get, we need to do for each. This will have to do a for each here. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. It's going to check every single type of material that we need. So now what I need is to get, break, I guess, break, split the structure pin. So in our player controller, get inventory contains, if it contains an item, I wonder how this runs. So there we go. If it contains amount 1, it doesn't really matter. Ah, shit, right. Well, I guess let's see, find out. So if branch, let's do print string has not has. Oops. So build stockpile. Not has, not has. Okay, so it knows it needs 2, but it still is not finding the right thing. I guess any. Any? Can we do that? Array element amount. Yes, you see, it needs to like search through things though. It doesn't, I don't want it to not has. Okay, so it's not a contains then. So inventory. I guess we could do something like this. So we get inventory resources, right? So we can get the inventory resources, and this inventory, this is inventory resources, and this will be resource type enum, an array. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna duplicate this and resource amounts. So this will be an integer type. So that's what we're gonna do. So materials type. So what we're gonna do is we're going to say use resources. So the first we're gonna do is actually create a table. So we're gonna set so here, there we go, invent and that. So for each loop, okay, so for each loop, we're going to break this. So for each resource type, we're going to add a unique to this resource type at the same time as add a unique of how many we have. Okay, great. So that's going to do that. Then when we complete it, we're going to say materials needed. Now in here for each loop, I guess yeah, that we can keep. So now in this for each loop, we're going to say inventory resources, find item of our resource. Now this return value is we're going to use the inventory resource amount and get a reference because we want to work on this reference. And then if this resource is bigger than 0, true. Just try that. So build a stockpile, click, has. Right, now, top-down controller, when we create our inventory, I want to make silicon instead. Because, why not? So, right, build. Okay, cool. So, build stockpile, click, has and not has. Perfect. Okay, so now that it's working, let's put this back to wood before we get screwed over and forget what we're doing. So now that we know if this has more than one or not, we can now basically say, okay, so we're going to grab this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a reference of our current array index and our materials needed. Okay, and what I want to do is actually want to de-increment it, right? So I'm going to now go grab the split of this. The resource is fine. And what we want to do is we want to take this amount and minus. So we want to de-increment this integer, if true. If false, we don't do anything. Actually, if false, we can do something like print string and say, you don't have the resource. Great. Okay. So we de-increment the amount in this loop body. And and then we also de-increment this. Cool, so compile, press play. So if we say stockpile, build mode, let's just decrease how much stuff we have. So we'll only have yeah, I'm gonna add like plastic, and then on completed, I'm just going to do this again. On completed, I'm going to add one more slot, and resource type will be wood, and I'm going to add like 5 wood. So we can do this 5 times out of the 10 that we need. So if we press I, there's our 5 wood and 69 plastic. So build stockpile. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it doesn't work. Okay, so something has gone wrong. Oh, because we're not checking whether... No, we are. I guess print a string of what we have. I guess I could just also check. Oh, no, because we don't need to do that. It's not this resource amounts we need to remove. We need to now grab our inventory and we need to minus the thing from our inventory. So what we want to do is basically find I love you so, I love you so, I love you so, please don't go, I love you so. I guess what we could do is like add let's see. So what we need is we actually need to minus it from our player, right? So in our player controller inventory, we need to now get a reference of dimension integer. So the integer that we need is actually the inventory resources, I guess. Let's try that. Then what I want to do is I want to split, and then we need to minus this, -1, and then we actually need to make inventory slot. No, player controller make oh wait, inventory set the array element. Jeez, this is going to be quite a complicated thing to do, I guess. So set the array element at the index, which is here. Right? Yeah. So set that index to make inventory slot, so resource type and amount. And then I guess what we want to do is, well, we don't really need to print this, I guess. Then we can just check. Actually, I'll print a string and say, no, that's not the way we want to print strings. Here in this completed, I want to print a string. Call this building. Oh wait, took resource, and then return. Compile. So now we want to press play. Press I, so we have 5 wood, perfect. So build stockpile. Okay, so we have 5 wood, 4 wood, 3 wood, 2 wood, 1 wood, 0 wood. Now, you don't have the resource. Okay, but that's fine because that doesn't check it. So you don't have the resource, but it is still taking the stone. Okay, that's fine. So we're getting somewhere. Okay, so we don't have the resource. So then maybe rather just return immediately. So end the function there. Yeah, I think that should be fine. So if we build a stockpile, we just check, so we have 5, so 54. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 49, click, 49, 49, 49. Okay, great. So return, so this is, just call this return. I don't know what to call it, so okay, compile. So now when we build construction, has resource. Compile, press play. So now we will not be able to build more than halfway. Build stockpile. Okay, so here we go. 1 took resource. You don't have the resources. Okay, don't have the resources. As resource. Oh, that's why, because this is return true and that's return. There we go, that'll work now. Now it'll work. Click that fucking Steam notification. No, I will not. I am evil. Alright, so let's check. We have 5 wood, 83. You don't have the resource. We still? Really? You don't have the resource? What don't I have? So false is one of these is less than 0 apparently. Build, stockpile, out of build mode. Cool. We have 5. There we go, took the resource. So 4, 86, 82, 81, 0. Now, this should not go anymore. You don't have the resources. You don't have the resources, you don't have the resources. So now I'm going to add a button. That actually just gives us resources. So it's just going to recreate our inventory. So here I'm just going to call it like cheat button. So it'll be like P input P. Actually, yeah, sure. Page up. We'll just recreate our create inventory. Pressed create inventory. So if we say like build stockpile 5, okay, so we cannot build more. So now I'm going to say page up. What did I say? P, right? P should recreate the inventory. Okay, I'm confused what the button was. Is it page up or P? Page up. That's what it is, but I guess it's not working. So let's just do P. Input P. There you go. Pressed create inventory. Great. Build a stockpile. So now we're going to check 5. Okay, it doesn't build any further. Press P. Still doesn't want to redo it. Add amount 5. Print string. Created inventory. That's weird. It doesn't want to create the inventory again. So create inventory, create inventory, create inventory. Right. Because remember how I said we should clear the inventory? That's the problem. Clear. Oh, thanks, Geo. Is it Geo or Gaia? One of the two. So stockpile. There we go. 5. Perfect. Well, I guess here we go. We're gonna build. So now we recreated our inventory. Let's check again. 5. And we created our stockpile. Cool. Cool beans. So our now resources are being used up to build. So let's create something slightly more here we go, hut. So construction time, we'll say like 25. Now, what do we need to build this thing? Well, I think we should just have a resource like wood 50, stone 20. Okay, so that's something a little bit more heavy. And then let's say scrap as well, just so we know it works. So not iron, scrap. And we need 6 scrap, whatever, it doesn't really matter. So here we go. Now, where's our top-down controller? I'm going to remove this loop here because we don't need it anymore. So this will go back to wood. So there we go. Let's check our inventory. 57 wood, 64 stone, and 90 scrap. Sorry, I had a brain fuck. I just exited the wrong thing. Okay, so there we go. This is our inventory. So let's build the hut. Here we go. House. There's our hut. Let's build a bit. So there we go. Took resource. Now the thing is, we need to make it in a way that so is it minusing our scrap? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, now what we need to think of is it doesn't. I don't want it to minus just like 1 scrap, 1 wood, 1 stone, right? So how would we do that in this mess? Well, what we need to do is we're not just going to minus 1. That's what we need to do. So we're not going to minus 1. We need to grab the resource and we need to minus it by an amount that is basically equal to how would we do this now? Materials needed. So we need to minus it according to our work needed, right? So here's our work needed. So let's say our work needed is 25. Let me get a piece of paper. So 25, so work needed is 25. And if we have 60 divided by 25, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the amount, and I want to divide it by the work needed. So that will return how many we should minus. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to just do this and then set array element, going through the true node, set the array element at the index, which we have over here, to item. We're going to make, this is very messy, we will obviously clean this up. So resource amount. Great. So now what I want to do is I actually want to make another little progress on top of the progress bar. We're going to add some stuff. So on top of this progress bar, I actually want to add a vertical box, I guess. This progress bar goes in there. This vertical box gets anchored in the center of 500. And this is 0.5, 0.5. Oops, undo that. This obviously gets filled. Now, this vertical box needs to get just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to say 60. And we need some text in here quickly. Just so that we can, like, well, it's actually not going to be a text, I guess. It's going to be a horizontal box with text in it. And obviously an image, but we're going to make another thing. So we're going to make a user interface, a widget, and this will be like resource monitor widget. Yeah, sure. I'm going to call it resource monitor build resource monitor widget. So what this is going to look like is pretty cool. It's going to be just an image, right? So we're going to go like this, image. No, wait, we need not just straight off image, we need horizontal box. In that box, we want to add the image. So this will be anchored like so. It will be desired. Anchor center, 0.5, 0.5. Change where this is placed. Size will be, let's say 100. Yeah, that's like, no, not 100. Let's do 150 by 30, and this is 32. Perfect. So this will be the image. So it's like resource. I'm pretty sure I'm still misspelling resource, but it's fine. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it like that. And then what we need is text in this horizontal box as well. This we're gonna make a bit smaller, 12. Center it like so. Perfect. Cool. Save. Guess fill. Alright. Compile. So what does this mean? Well, we need to now basically set all of this up. So on construct, we are going to have a let's see. Okay, so we're gonna have a variable here. So on construct, this will be our resource type, and this will be an enum resource type. Oh, the song. What is this? This is good. Class animals. That's cool. Sounds cool. Alright, so it needs a resource type and amount. This is an integer. So these are exposed on spawn. That's the important part. And on construct, well, the amount. So we're going to do this, and we're going to bind this brush to a binding. So this is going to be setting the resource type. So get the resource type and switch. So we're just going to work with the 3 basics, so like the scrap, the wood, and iron. So none is not going to be in there because it has to be a type of resource. There you go. Stone and iron. So I mean, this is going to be a little bit different. This needs to split, as you can see, split there, and split. Cool. So now we've split all 3 of those bastards. So what is this? This one's scrap. So we have the icon for that already. This one is stone icon, and this is wood. It's somewhere here. There it is. Great. Save. 30 by 30, 30 by 30, and 30 by 30. How do you feel to be watched by 2 people? Greetings from Italy. It's pretty cool, I guess. It's pretty awesome. Greetings to you from Italy as well. Well, I'm not really in Italy. I'm in Ukraine. Alright, so there you go. That returns that. Now the text, what we're going to do is we're going to need to bind this. So the amount, and it's going to be pretty easy amount. We don't actually need to expose on spawn. And actually, no, this. I just realized we don't need to do this. We'll just do that. We don't need to make it editable either. So, what do we do? What do we do? So here we need to do a format. Oops. Format text. So this will be our what will be? Actually, we don't need to format. This is just how much to go, right? So yeah, this is easy. Just return the amount. That's all we have to do. Just return the amount. That's pretty easy. I was overthinking that. Okay, compile. So when we make this progress bar, what do we do? Well, this image, this horizontal box, this needs to be a variable. So this graph, when we create the graph, we actually should pass. So we're going to pass the materials needed, and this is our structure. What was it called? It's like building materials or something. building resources needed, an array. So on construct, grab this for each. Once again, that's why I love working with arrays, apparently. So here, array element, split the structure pin. We're going to loop body, create widget, class build resource monitor. Actually, I wonder. Let me try something. Resource type, and then say expose on spawn. Ah, okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll just do that. Let's tessellate. There we go. Amount and resource type. Great. So we create the widget. Then we need to add it as a child to our horizontal box. Add child to horizontal box. Great. So now in our construction proxy, Jesus, this is such a mess. Alright, so let's see, event graph. When we begin play, let's see, top-down controller, blah, blah, blah. Kind of building proxy, perfect. And then what we need to do is our progress bar, get widget. We're gonna have to cast it once again, cast. What do we have no, we should probably make a thing to this, but it's fine. Actually, yeah, we're gonna have to cast to our build progress bar. And I'm gonna promote this to a variable. This is our build progress bar, because we're gonna be using this a lot now, to update the monitor and everything. So when we check construction, instead of doing this, right, we just grab our build progress bar, and that's the target. Great. So check complete. No, it is under build construction, use resource. This is what we're going to use. So here we now need to basically, at the end of this entire thing, we need to grab this, set our build, where's the materials? There you go, materials needed. Get the materials needed. Oh, no, we need to set it. Set materials needed. And because we already basically have this, we just go like this, materials needed. Wait a minute, I just realized something. We're doing this a little bit wrong. Because, oh, no, that is right. So now we get the materials needed. Event tick. I guess we could make a custom function. So I guess function would be fine if we just call the function. So then we just say update resource monitor. Do you prefer U4 or learn the source code row by row? To be honest, right now, like I'm not very big into C++, so I have to kind of relearn everything. So I prefer Blueprint at the moment. So update the resource monitor. Well, I guess when we create this, we should probably like add this to variable, and we just call this like our monitor array, and this is what is it called? Building. Just type widget. It'll be easier to find. Widget. Where is it? Build resource monitor widget object reference. Add unique. There we go. So now when we do that, what we do now is in this update resource monitors, we're going to grab the monitor array and do a for each loop. Set. We need to set the resource type. There we go. To our materials needed. Get a copy of the array index. Oh shit, no. Oh, fuck, we're gonna need to do it for each here as well. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So monitor array. No, materials needed for each loop. So here is basically we're gonna get our array elements and everything. So there we go. Ah, here, perfect. That's exactly what we wanted actually. So here we go. The resource type. We're gonna set that. And then we should probably no wait. Fuck, how are we gonna do this? Shoot. So the monitor array So this is going to do for each monitor, which is for each material needed. It's gonna set it to like the last thing every time. I guess we could get no, wait. So for each monitor array, we're going to get okay, so get the resource type, okay, and we also need to get amount, right? So the other way we could do it is just send it the array element, like wait, no, each monitor array is created once for each resource. Finally, bye-bye stream. Stream is still up, as far as I know. Alright, well, anyways, enjoy your day then, I guess. Resource type, amount. Just think, how are we gonna do this? So, monitor array for each loop. It has a resource type, it has an amount. Just check, so it creates for each, it creates one, and it sends it the monitor array, the resource type. So we're gonna do a for each loop set. Okay, so a for each loop of the materials needed. No, for each loop. There we go. That's how we're gonna do it. So a for each loop, we are going to basically split this loop body. We're gonna grab the monitor array, get a copy of the array index, then set resource type. There we go, set the resource type and set amount. This should work. If it doesn't, then I don't know. I'll rethink it again, I guess. Okay, then on completed, just return. Great, compile, play. So does this work? That's the question. No, it didn't create what we needed to do. So build progress bar. Okay, event construct, for each loop. Monitor array, child box. I guess we need to like set row. No, what do we need to set? Maybe like horizontal alignment. Fill. Sure, let's try that. It could be just being created, but we're not seeing it. No. Uncompleted. I'm gonna do a for each here. Print string. Sure, print the. It's not being called. Build progress bar. That is what I'm working on, right? Yeah. Oh, it could just be very small. This horizontal box should be a fill as well. There we go. Maybe now? Really? Graph? Add child to horizontal box. Happening. See, it's not calling this. The monitor array is not getting filled. Let's print a string here. This should be called 3 times. Yeah, no, it's not being called 3 times. Event construct. Called by both the game and the editor. Try that, I guess. Add child. Yeah, that's fine. Return value. Hi there, filled array. Let's just see. Yeah, I see the full array is not being called. I guess wait, create, wait, custom event, and we just call this create resource monitor. Create resource monitor. Or unless this is the issue, that it's not being passed the thing. So construction proxy. In construction script. Yeah, that's probably the issue, isn't it? Yeah, that was probably the issue. Damn it. It's an event graph. So we set the progress bar, right? And we actually need to set the materials needed. There we go. Okay, so I want to click try something now. Stockpile. Did I say 25 and 50? 10. I forgot how much a stockpile costs. Class default. 25 wood and 50 stone. Okay. So now when we use the resource, we need to set the materials needed for the progress bar, and then this progress bar needs to update resource monitor. Okay, so this might not work, or it might work. We're going to see now. Build the stockpile. 250. Okay, apparently it just completely fucked it out. So, resource monitor array materials needed. It sets it. It needs to get the array at that index. This is something as 2. But why does it say materials needed 2? I'm going to quickly print out this. For each, there you go. I want to print out everything here, and only when this is completed, then you go. Print string, format, right, format text. This will be RT and amount. So split resource get string enum to string, perfect. Text and amount. Stone 5, wood 2. Okay, so that does get updated normally. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Let's quickly go to where is our construction proxy. So this mess. Let's do this quick. I was trying to see this. Let's go to that place. Minus. I was trying to try this instead. Put that in there. There we go. Okay, so that is working now. So if we do this, I want to see if it takes that amount of wood from our inventory, right? So here we go. So we have 86 wood. So if I do that, we should now have 85. Oh yes, because we're not setting the right amount there. So the item, so this is also oops, undo. This needs to go in there. Okay, so this should, now we have 77. Alright, now it's not taking anything. Are we setting the array element? And the target of that array is the materials needed. So we need to now amount minus what we are minusing, obviously, here. And then send it to the array. So what's the issue? Maybe that doesn't work that way. So do that. And this. Let's just see if that works. Just want to see if I can somehow, for some reason it's not minusing things. So 62, 39, 17, 4. Oh, right. That's a stupid thing to do. Because this is minusing 1, so it's gonna minus like a whole bunch of. Okay, I get it now. Stockpile. So let's see. 76, 75, 74. Okay, I need to figure out a formula of how to do this. So here in this case, we need 25 wood. Okay, and the work needed to make our stockpile is construction time is 10. So we divide it by 10, which gives us 2.5. We can floor it. No, we need to ceiling it, I guess. No. Maybe we just add it, like, straight off. Or, so this uses 2.5 per click is what we should do. So, where's our thing? So, top down, no, there we go, construction proxy. Oof, this is such a mess. Okay, I'm going to delete all of this. So this amount, I'm going to delete this as well. So this amount is our materials needed. No. We need like a double here. This is... Yeah, I'm going to make another one of these. And this will be materials needed full. It's just we need like a full set. So on construction, I'm going to set materials needed full to just materials needed. Slight data replication, but I want to see if we can get this to work before I end the stream tonight. Check, where is it now? Use resource, there we go. So what we do is we need to get the materials needed full, get a copy. Well, I guess we could just use, no, we can't, of this very same index. Okay, then split the structure pin. So we need this amount. We need to divide by our work needed. Okay, then this is basically going to so it's going to minus 2.5 every time, right? So if we say like minus 3, which will then be, yeah, so let's ceiling it. Okay, wait, this will, I guess, print this then. For now, I just want to see what this string is, what it gives me. Just want to see what it gives me. 5. No, 2 or 5. 2, 5, 5 and 2. Oh, yes, because it will give you 2 and 5 because the amount of stone we need. Divided. Oh, we can't. Okay, I guess we just do 2 float then. So we're going to get this float. And then I'm going to divide it by a float, because otherwise we can't get halves. Then I want to ceiling it and then return this value. Okay, try that. Build a stockpile. 3 and 5. Perfect. So, okay, so that's good. So 3 and 5. So now it's going to grab this and minus it from our resources. And we're going to get this resource amount minus our new resource amount and then set that amount. This is such a mess. I need to clean it up. Okay, so inventory 68, 65. So it minus 3 wood and 5. Okay, cool. There we go. Let's see. 1. Okay, so we're not going to go into the negatives. So that's working. Now what we need to do is we need to check that we're not setting it if it's more than, if it's like more than 0, right? We can go. I guess we could just floor. Oh, I guess we could just like limit it, right? So what was that called? It was like, damn, I don't actually remember what the thing was called. I'm having a brain fart. Oh, clamp. Yes, can I clamp? Oh, I can clamp ints. Cool. So now this resource needed. Wait. So materials needed. This should have a clamp. Clamp value is, this is the value, minimum, maximum. Well, maximum can be anything really. Maximum can be infinity. Just minimum needs to go to 0. Okay, let's try this now. Stockpile. Click it. Okay, 22, 20. Okay, so there we go. We have 1 left. So I want to check 57, 54. Okay, so it still minuses the 4. Okay, so that's fine because resource monitor. So if the resource needed, so we need to make a branch here, right? Okay, so branch, if this amount, wow, okay, yeah, okay, so what is the time? It is 10:50, well, 10:50 almost, 10:45. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to keep going. Then I'm basically at 3 hours. And I'm going to go to bed. So while we figure this out, let's figure this shit out here. So we add our resources. So where shall we check if we're hitting 0 or not? So this checks if our inventory resource amount is bigger than 0. And if false, then we do not have the resources. So I can actually delete this because we already know that that doesn't work. Well, that already works. So then, if true, we set the array element to this minus, right? But, well, yeah, we're already clamping it to 0. Now, what we want to do is we want to building resources. So I want to grab this. I want to break it again. Yes, it doesn't make sense, but it's fine. It will make sense now. So this string we cannot delete. So here we now need this branch that we made. We need a branch. So this branch will check if this equals to 0. If it equals to 0, right? So if true, this is for that resource. If true, then we just one second. So we add true. We don't do anything. That's what we should do. Let's try that. So stockpile, click 25. I'm gonna get up to 1. So not build inventory. So we have 52 wood. Okay. Actually, you know what we can do is we set this array element, right? So same things. Here we go, index and item. We're gonna basically do this again. There, I'm gonna make it. Oops, make it here. This will be the item. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it to the amount. Wait, where's this inventory? That index. So we're going to set it to the amount that is difference, basically. So whatever this was, right? Because that sets it to the value. So whatever this is, which is like our difference in things, right? Minus from our current amount minus the difference, but I want to clamp it. Now I need to grab this clamp. There we go. And max 99, doesn't really matter. It's not going to be bigger than that. Okay, so compile, build, stockpile. Oh, I should probably be checking this. 60, 57, okay, 51, 50. Wait, what? Did I see that right, guys? Okay, I'm going to check again. Stockpile. 55, 52, 49, 46. Yes, yes. It's adding. Wait, what? The fuck? Why is it adding things? Our amount. Why is it adding? That doesn't make sense. Oh, that's probably the issue. Okay, so just check 51, 48. No! No, oh, right, that's fine, because that's not what we needed there. Shit. So, the difference between these two, for example, so this clamp, actually, oh, you know what we can do is we can grab this minus, right? So we get this return value minus this, the different, yeah, there. I think that should work. I guess I'm just gonna keep on trying until it works, I guess. So 25, let's see, so 91, 88, 85, 82, 79, 76, 73, 70, 64. Okay, so it still did the minus 3. Oh, actually, if it's less, or, we need to do an or, because it's doing only if it's 0. That's when it's adding. So what we need to actually need to do an or if this amount, right, is less than our work needed amount. Wow, this is a very confusing blueprint. Stockpile. Okay, 25. So let's check. 63, 60, 57, 54, 51, 48, 45, 43, 40, 37. If this amount, which is the resources that are needed, print me this string. Print me this. I want to know what you're seeing. I don't get it right. What? Okay, so 1. So that, so at when it hits 4, no, when it hits 7, printed me 1, which is how much? No, that's wrong. But I guess we'll keep on trying. Okay. So if we say, so if this is less, our resources are needed is less than, for in this case would be 3, right? Which is 1. Okay. I 78. So build stockpile. Yeah. Wait. Is that right? I had that 78. So that used 20. So now it's not 5. Oh, whoa, that's just way too much. Ah, fuck. I'm so confused now. Stockpile. Okay, so let's just check. 70. It used 15. So this resource monitor is updating too fast. So let's see, construction proxy. So we set the materials needed of the build progress bar at the end. Maybe this should just be called all the time. Let's try this. So event graph on tick, just keep going. Update resource monitor. Let's see. I mean, it can't be that hectic, right? Stockpile. Okay, so 59, 56, 54. Okay, let's press play again. Just print a stockpile. So here we have 79 wood, which means if we click once, 76. So this should have used 15 wood. That's right. That's 18. Yes. That used 5. So that used 5 because... Okay, I want to remove this print string because that's going to annoy the shit out of me. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to go until 3 hours and then I'll end it, guys. Okay, so we're not going to need that anymore. So we set the materials. So let's just see. Wow. Oh, this kind of gives me a headache. So if it equals to 0. Oh, actually, no. If it equals to 0, right, we're not going to need an OR. If this is less, right, then we do that. If it doesn't, we need another branch. Oh my god. If it equals to 0, however, then you don't do fuck all, unless it's false. Actually, I think that's fine. Yeah, just end it off there. Okay, 25, 65, 62. Okay. I need to put like a little resource monitor up on the screen. That used 5. Oh, fuck, I wasn't paying attention. Build a stockpile. There we go. Okay, so 25, 73. So if I go to here, 73, I did what? How many clicks? How many clicks was that? 5. Right? So 73. Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, so 58. Oh, fuck, I keep doing that. Ah! Okay. 25. 94. Okay, so 94. So the next one should be 91, right? Yes. 88. That's fine. Yes. 88 and 85 and 82. Okay, so 88, 85, 82, then 79. Then it should be 76. And then, what, 73, right? And then it should be done almost. 79, 76. Okay, so now at 7. So all that is right. It used 2. Okay. Then it used 3. Okay. And then it used 3 again. Does that make sense? 68. Okay. Let's create the predictions in advance and then we follow them. So we have 52 wood. So 52, check. Then 49, then it'll be 46, 43, 40, 37, 34, 31, 28, 25, and what, 22? Okay. Fuck, I did that again, didn't I? Okay, I'm not going to redo that. I'm going to just set everything to 50 and go with that. So then 50, 47, 44, 41, 38, 35, 32, 29, 26, 23, 20. Okay. So there we go. 50. Check. Build. Stockpile. Okay. I. See, it works with even numbers. It doesn't work with like 3s and 4s and things. So okay, so we don't have the resources. Excuse me. That's a weird bug. Huh? Okay, I'm just gonna go out of it. There we go. Okay, so I don't know why does it do that the first time and it minuses. That is weird. That is very strange. Okay. That's very strange. Take resource. Where did we say we don't have the resource again? That's the question. I guess we do it under check construction. Check complete. Oh no, it's under build. Build construction. Don't have the resources. If this returns a false. So if this inventory resource amounts greater than 0. Where else do we return a false here? No way. So it's just this. So it's saying that if our player controller's inventory, for what resource though? Okay, I guess we're gonna print a string here. Print a string and I'll print a string for what we're missing. Stone. Don't have the stone. Are you insane? Apparently we don't have stone, so okay, I want to try this then. Go to our stockpile and change the amount of stone we need to 25. Yeah, we could very easily fix this by making like a different number for the amount of hits we need, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so click. I don't have the resources. What do you mean I don't? Oh, it doesn't have the stone for some reason. It's hurting my head. Inventory slot widget is not being created properly, maybe. Resource type. Inventory slot. Stone. We obviously have that much stone, I mean, otherwise... Right? Why am I going insane? Done character. Where's our inventory? Controller. Inventory. Stone, 50. So why are you lying to me? Alright, well, we've gone on for 3 hours, so I will continue with this tomorrow. Or the day after. Or maybe tomorrow night, it depends. But thank you everybody for joining in. And I will see you guys some other time. I'm gonna clean up this blueprint so that it's more understandable. It's literally a mess in there. So yeah, I'm gonna clean up that blueprint. And yeah, then we will go on ahead as planned. This is so weird that it doesn't want to do it. $24. 21. P to recreate the inventory. Just checking. Anyways, thank you very much guys for joining. I'll see you guys next time.